Okay, well this is part 4. Now, there's a lot more I could say about part 3, I'll say that later because this is just a brief outline. But the main thing here is to say, why am I interested in 2012? Why do I find this one more than the millennium bug and all these end of the world scenarios that you've had? Planetary alignments, which always did seem to be a bit of a nothing. Well, it goes back to this on and off switch that I've had in the head that seems to tell me when things are true and when they're not. And the other thing about this is that 30 to 40 years ago I was told or thought, which I think this idea of what you're told and getting information from the ether or from the life force is a very strange one because it comes in a very quiet way. And one of the things that was given to me 30 years ago, in between there sometimes, was that there is an elite in this world and that they are controlling everything. They're propaganda in us. They are working to a plan, a very patient plan. I think this has been going on for hundreds of years. Now, when I thought this, there wasn't all of this that there is on the internet about this elite and the control and one world governments. So I've been waiting for this to happen, and this is one of the reasons why 2012 is so important now, because it is coming to pass after 40 years. I've been just watching it and saying yes, so that is true. Now that's the thing with, you have to prove this very quiet thing that comes. It comes very close to imagination, and you don't, so you've got to make sure it isn't your imagination. And it takes a long time. Like, I don't really have control of it. This is the other thing. I'm a person that says I don't know a lot. Whereas if you're in the world and you want to start a religion or you want to start a party or anything like this, you say, I know it, I know this and I know that, and everyone will join you. And they say, great, we don't have to think anymore. But the truth is we do have to think. But we don't have to do more than think. We have to listen to this inside voice, which is very, very quiet. And if we're in too much worrying about the things of this world, then we are not going to hear it. When we're stressed, like with work and with family and with holidays and all this, we're just not going to hear it. So this is why they keep us stressed and in fear that we had the time when we all had to hide under the tables because the nuclear war was going to blow us up, and it nearly did, but it didn't. Now this 2012, as I said earlier, I believe is a beginning. It's not that there's not going to be hard times, because there certainly are, because the one thing we got in our favour at the moment, I believe, is that there is more than one group. Even if that is in the same group, there are fractions in that group. And they've got us so well controlled now with all their censorship and their nose and all this stuff that they're sort of beginning to think, we've got it. And it's about time they started to fight to who's going to be the boss and whose way it's going to be. And that's when our time comes, is that when they start fighting, they're going to start to lose. But unfortunately, when they start fighting, it will be us that'll be doing all the fighting and dying. As it has in the past, these kings, they just hired armies, sent them out to the battlefield, and they had all their markings and all their royal regalia on, and that was to let the ordinary soldiers know that they mustn't kill them people because they're lords and they're kings and they're everything like this. They could kill the foot soldiers who just were trying to make a crust of bread, but you could capture those and you can get money. for them, but never got killed. They'd be wined and dined until the people paid the ransom. So for a lot of time they had these gentleman rules of war, but they weren't for the ordinary people. They were just for the so-called gentlemen, or the upper class, or royalty, or whatever you say. Now, so this is what is about to occur. I think there are added things, if you listen to David Icke and others, which there definitely is a lot of truth in what he says. And I do believe he's connected into the life force and is being fed stuff, which is really good. But they, ooh, I forgot that, lost that one. So we better carry on to something else. That got taken away. Now this is another thing that happens with me over the... Sometimes when I'm talking to someone, things get totally taken away. It means it's not the right time. The other thing that I've learned over the many years of speaking, just one-to-one or to small groups, or to... Actually, I used to go a lot to rallies and things like this, and people would seek me out. Or communes and things, not actually rallies. But the thing is that it would get taken away, and that was not my doing. It was just meant it wasn't at that time. So the life force does have this control. It can... I'm doing its will, not my own will. I'm just as happy as I can be, which brings to a lot of other things. Trying to live in the now. I have faith in this life force. Now it's asked me to do this which I'm doing now. I'm very pleased to do it, and as I said earlier as well, it's something I don't mind doing. So it's I'm happy to do it, and so it makes me happy. So okay, I'm getting signalled that we're coming close to our 10 minutes here. So that's the thing I really want to just put in. This life force is real. It will communicate with you, and it is your job, that individually, that's what they can't take away. Once enough of us are listening to the life force, and this will be people in power as well, things will change. And this is what is coming in 2012 and before. This enlightenment is happening. They're fighting against it, but it is still here and coming. So I better finish this one before we go over the 10 minutes. So I'll see you in number 5, I believe.